So you've chosen your favorite DAW, but now it's cracking like hell, and sometimes it feels like throwing your system away. Don't worry, this video is going to help you choosing or upgrading your PC for audio production. You could be using FL Studio, Ableton, Cubase, Pro Tools, doesn't matter. Because most audio software have similar hardware requirements. So here are 4 major components affecting your PC performance. Starting off with processor. Music software is mainly CPU oriented, so the better the clock speed, smoother the workflow. You should also focus on how many cores, as it will help you to play with more virtual instruments and use more tracks, faster renders, and of course, smoother workflow. If you're working on a very tight budget, start with at least 6 cores. And if not, spend roughly 40% of your budget here, because this is the main component determining your performance. Number 2 is RAM. So if you're using Kontakt libraries, which is the industry standard for getting instrument tracks, you need to have a larger memory to load virtual instruments or audio effects without any lag. Opt for DDR5 RAMs if your CPU supports it, because higher clock speed directly affects the loading speed of any electronic or sampled instrument. Start with at least 16 GB, 32 GB is preferable with clock speeds of up to 32 MHz for DDR4 and 4800 MHz for DDR5. Now graphic cards don't play any major role in music production and audio engineering until and unless you're also editing visuals. So whether that's making some music videos or using audio visualizers, you cannot work on any sort of graphical work without having a good GPU. We'll recommend you to have at least an entry-level 2 GB graphic card to run visualizers. In case you don't want to use it, onboard graphics do perfectly well. And if you're looking to edit videos, check out this video for Premiere Pro. Moving on to storage. This is among those fields where it's always better to have more than what you think you need. Get an NVMe SSD if possible and use it as your cache drive. In case your RAM storage runs out, a fast NVMe SSD does come in handy. We would recommend you to go with at least 500 GB of NVMe to store your active project files and a dump drive 1 or 2 TB to store your archive recordings, sample packs, VSTs, effects, etc. Obviously, these numbers depends on how many projects you work on in a single time and how much dump you have. This dump is just the music dump and no other dump. So performance की बात कर ली हमने. Let's talk about one thing that can be like the devil for your recording process, and that is noise. To produce clear, high quality audio, it's very important that the vocals or the instrument recording can happen in a very quiet place, sometimes as low as -40 dB, which means your PC cannot be making any more noise. And there are a lot of ways to achieve this. Number 1 is the fans. This is the component producing the maximum sound in your PC. Try to go for non-RGB variants which have better airflow, meaning they'll spin slower and produce lower sound. Similarly, you can go for a 140 mm fan. Being larger, again makes them spin slower and makes them low noise fans. Next up, get a soundproof PC case. Some models are mentioned below in the description. These cases absorb your fan noise to get you a quieter PC. And finally, if you have the budget, go for passively cooled PSUs to make sure your PC doesn't make any sound. And finally, one more thing you need to know. It's the motherboard selection. Make sure you have all the necessary ports for the inputs and support the sound card you want to install. Most sound cards have PCIe Express interface, so make sure a motherboard has an additional PCI slot apart from your GPU to get all the inputs you need. And that's everything you need to know for choosing components for your PC to do music production and audio engineering. And if you're lost and didn't understand anything, like we said, you can always contact us. Talk to our configuration specialist who will build a tailor-made PC for you. And that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one with some more awesome PC building content. Till then, bye.